simply because it does speed up the process. Instead of trial and error and losing so much money into the market, you can simply use that money that you could have lost in the market on your own. You could have used that money to get a mentor and just start.
Hey trader, welcome back to another top tier interview. Brittany Hughes here, and I am honored to be in the presence of another powerful female trader. And before we get into the conversation though today, I want to remind you to like this video as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel so you are always notified with when we are uploading to our channel to continue to tune into these interviews, extract the value, and it will hopefully help you on your trading journey. So without further ado, I am joined today with Sara Miranda. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing really well.
Good.
How are you?
Good. These interviews, I've said this in previous interviews, but these interviews are really nice for, of course, the viewer, but selfishly for me too. I'm always so interested to hear about other traders, and call me a little bit biased, but specifically female traders and their journey and their story, and ultimately what they've gone through that's led them to where they are now. How I like to start these off though is I want to start with a win, an achievement. I love to give my guests their flowers before we get started. Do you mind sharing a most recent achievement or win that you've most recently had, either trading related with your community or even personal? It can be up to anything.
A winning achievement,
Yeah.
personal. So, there's a lot, but I guess a winning achievement would be like passing challenges. I've passed challenges within a week before, so having that achievement in my life is really big, because when I first started trading, I used to just blow these accounts like crazy. So I would say that would be like the biggest achievement.
Yeah,
Just being able to like pass phase 2 in a single day, or passing phase 1 within a week or a week or two. I think that's the greatest achievement so far.
That's big time. And I know it hasn't always, like you mentioned, that it hasn't always been this way, right? You've blown accounts in the past. So I want to back it up a little bit, and I would love to get to know what you were doing and what life was like, how life felt before you were even exposed to trading. What were you doing before that?
So I graduated high school in Virginia. And when I graduated high school in Virginia, you only have like 3 options to choose from, right? You can either join the army, work in retail, or go off in college. Like Forex does not exist in my community. So I wasn't introduced to Forex till I moved to Orlando. I got accepted to UCF, University of Central Florida. And I was majoring in aerospace engineering at the time.
Oh, wow, that's insane.
So I did a year of aerospace engineering, and I realized it was just way too complicated. Like the math behind it, the courses, the professors were, math professors are not the nicest people, especially when they come from other countries and have like these big accents. So that was really challenging. Then I decided to change my major to like civil engineering. Civil engineering is a lot easier than aerospace, so I was doing that. And while I was in school, I had a friend who introduced me to Forex, but back in the day, like in 2018, 2019, there was this program called IML.
Yes.
That's how I got into Forex. My friend, he was like one of those people that would just put people onto IML.
Okay.
And, with IML, the more people you sign up, the more commission you get. And obviously it was just a pyramid scheme. I lasted a month into the group chat. I really didn't understand anything what they were talking about or what Forex even was. Like, he just showed me like the app that he made $50-$40 a day. I was like, okay, if he could make $40-$50, I can probably do that too. But after like a month of being in the group chat, I literally texted in the group chat and I was like, how the hell do I get out of here? I wanted to like get out of the community, like it was just way too hectic and not my thing. After that, I I I found like an online course of what Forex was.
So IML kind of was the exposure, and you obviously were interested in the recruiting side of things, but you were
Yeah.
interested in the trading side of things.
Exactly.
Okay.
I knew like there's people making money off of this, so I want a piece of the pie, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Were you still in school at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still school, so I was basically juggling between school, work. So when I first moved to Orlando, my first job was actually this is embarrassing, but my first job was a cook at Universal Studios.
Okay, that's not embarrassing.
The only reason I picked that one was because it was the highest paid job in the whole theme park, and it was easy to get too. I was like, okay, you get benefits of getting tickets and whatnot. So I was juggling between school, work, and Forex was like the littlest thing in the back of my mind at the
Okay.
time. But I was exposed to what Forex was, like what it meant to people and the possibilities of it. So after that, I was still doing school after a year and working after a year. And then I ended up getting fired at Universal Studios.
Probably a blessing.
My parents do not know this, but
Sorry, parents.
I got fired because my friend, she had came down from Virginia. She wanted to visit me. And since Universal Studios gave me like free tickets, each park you had to use like a new ticket. So I was kind of being stingy with the tickets. I gave my friend one and I told her, okay, security at Universal Studios is like we don't have to worry about getting caught in the back, because it was just like a walk in the back. And there's never any securities. No one ever checks your ID. So I took my friend through the back way, and just my luck,
You
the
got caught.
security happened to ask for both of our IDs. So she ended up getting banned from Universal Studios for a year.
And you lost your job.
And I just lost my job.
Okay.
And then the funny part was, like, after getting banned and fired from Universal, we went straight to Disney.
To work or just to
just
have
to
fun?
Just to have fun.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
we weren't going to waste the day.
Yeah.
So after I lost a job, I was like, okay, I need to figure out what to do now. I found that Forex online course, purchased it. It was from a mentor who lived out in California, and he now lives in Dubai. But it was like an online course. I was like, it was only $50, $90. I don't remember.
Okay.
I was like, okay. That course really exposed me to like terminology, patterns, and trends. But I didn't have like one-on-one mentorship. Like, it was just straight an online course that you're reading. Like, it was like a PowerPoint. It was like 250-page PowerPoint.
Okay. So not even videos.
No videos. I don't
Okay.
think videos even like was a thing back in the day, like when people were teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, it was just PowerPoint. And the crazy part it was, I printed all the PowerPoints out and I would just read and highlight and take notes, because as an engineer major, like I'm really good at note taking.
Okay.
So and I'm always self-teaching myself math, because professors are ass. So learning from this course was like pretty easy for me.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't rocket science math. We're now talking just patterns. Patterns that repeat itself all the time in the markets.
Would you say what you learned back then you still apply to your trading today? Or has your, of course, I
Well,
know
my
your trading has
strategy is
evolved.
completely different.
Okay.
That course literally only helped me get the terminology of like what trend is, or
Okay.
market structure, or support and resistance, what's fibs, and so forth.
Okay.
But it didn't teach me how to create a strategy, like a trading plan. It didn't do none of that. It just taught me terminology.
And so where did you learn where did you learn your strategy and how to create a trading plan and about risk management and things of that sort?
Through experience.
Okay.
Straight experience, losing money. So in the beginning of my career, like I literally lost like $5,000 to $10,000.
Within the first year?
Yeah, first year or two.
Okay.
Actually, it was like the first year. After that, I found out what prop firms were.
Okay.
I was like, okay, buying a prop firm challenge is a lot cheaper than blowing my real money.
Exactly. So your first year, you were only trading on real account, your live account.
Yes,
Okay.
my real capital live account. I was using the broker Hugo's Way.
Okay.
I don't even think they exist no more. I think they got shut down.
Okay.
I would have to be fact checked on that, but I'm pretty sure they went down this year too, recently.
Oh,
but
interesting. So then after trading on your own personal capital and losing the money over, X amount of time, then you discovered prop firms?
yes.
Okay. And then what shift did that make for you in your trading, to trade from your own personal account to then trading with prop firm? And prop firms have different rules. They have boundaries that you have to stay within. Did you find that to be a hard shift, to shift from your personal account where you kind of have the free reins to trade however you'd like, and you kind of have to move more into like a corporate style, I could say, of trading?
With prop firms, it does help you become a disciplined trader.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I was blowing counts. Like, I blew probably 7, 8, 9 accounts before I actually got my first win. But it felt better, like, losing a prop firm account than it did, like, my real hard-earned capital. Because once you pass your challenge on a prop firm, you're literally getting a refund and you're also making profit. So everything that you invested with previous challenge, you're getting back from that one challenge that you passed. So that's why I like trading prop firms. And also just the idea of like having like 50 or 100K into account and knowing that like brokers can close just like Hugo's Way did. Just having like this like the peace of mind that your money's not going to be gone.
Yeah, no, totally. That's a very big component, and kind of an inherent risk that we take on when we're putting our money within brokers. I want to back it up a little bit, because I know that there's some people tuning into this, and maybe they're at that time in your journey where you were blowing accounts, blowing your own personal capital. What would you say like the biggest challenge was for you during that time?
The biggest challenge would be not having any support. So I literally had to push myself and basically like manipulate my mind into believing I can do this. And there's no failure. Like I basically put myself in survival mode. Okay. So the biggest challenge was basically surviving the rough path of not passing challenges. That way when I get to my first pass challenge, like I made it, like I survived. So it was just like straight survival. So that really helped me get to where I am, to be honest.
Yeah, they say, and not only they, but I mean, it's just factual, that when it comes down to trading, you can have a strategy that is solid. You can be, hopefully, obviously tuned into your risk management, but what plays a massive, massive part in success is your psychology.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not only the belief that you can do it, but also being able to juggle with the very, very, very human emotions of being fearful, being greedy, having the fear of missing out on a specific opportunity. What were, if any, of those that I kind of just listed, were any of the things that you personally struggled with?
Yes, all of them.
Okay.
I actually have a strategy to get over all those emotions. Like I teach my students how to overcome these emotions. I would say like the biggest ones would be like FOMO, greed, overconfidence. Till this day, I still struggle with overconfidence.
Okay.
Not so much as before, but now it's like my overconfidence does take over sometimes.
And how does that show up for you? How does that show up for you when you're trading?
What do you mean?
So how can you identify? So like at the end of a trading day, I personally like to self-reflect and journal at the end of the trading day, and to kind of analyze like what I was feeling during that time. So let's say I enter a trade and price starts to pull back, and I notice the emotion within me of fear starting to show up. So like natural, not every single time, but sometimes I'll close out the trade because I don't want it to reverse. So sometimes it'll show up for me if price starts going in the opposite way. That's how it shows up for me. When you say overconfidence, sometimes will get you in trouble. How does that show up for you? Can you share an example?
For instance, overconfidence, right? So personally, I only take high probability and high quality setups. So I'm looking at higher time frames to take a setup. I'm not looking at 5 minute. I don't even look at the 1 minute. Like the 1 minute does not exist in my chart. So the smallest time frame I go to is 3 minute. But even then, I don't like to look at it so much because I trade indices. So I trade US 30, NAS 100, XBX 500, and I also trade the metal gold. So with these, well, my main pair is like US 30, okay?
Okay.
Like, I can trade that pair any day with full confidence. So one thing about US 30 is that it's super volatile, right? So I'll be in a setup, I'll be up 1 to 2%, and well, I'll be up 1% with my stop loss to break even. And then since it's a super volatile pair, it'll come back to where I entered before shooting up or down, whichever the case may be. So when it hits my stop loss at break even, I have too much confidence that this trade is still going to go my way. So I try to re-enter at a better price.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that
I struggle with that part.
Okay. That's interesting because for me, I completely relate to what you've just shared. I'm currently reading the book, The Trading Coach, and for me, it's more of not having the confidence.
Oh, really?
And so an exercise that I've started to implement is that if price does come back to my either original entry point or it's giving me a better entry point, and naturally my mind goes to what if it hits my stop loss? Not like, oh, it's giving me a better entry point. So an exercise that I've started to implement to grow my confidence is to put in another position, very low risk, like literally pennies, but I'm training my mind to overcome the fear and to double down on my analysis, because I should be confident in my analysis. I know what I'm doing. I know when I'm looking at a chart, what I'm seeing, and ultimately I should be confident in my analysis playing out. And if it doesn't, that's also fine because I'm using proper risk management. But something I've started to implement is if price comes back to my original entry, I'm going to put in another position. Have it be very low risk, but it's me training myself to instill that confidence within myself. So it's very interesting that you have the opposite of it. You're like, no, I'm doing it, and it's like I'm double down on what my initial analysis was.
Yeah, I don't feel so much fear when trading because I know I can make that money back
totally
on my next trade or a trade or two from now. So, and also like when taking a trade, like my first entry, like you said, you're stacking, right? So my first entry is either super minimum, like let's say you have a 100K account, and on top tier, right, the lot size for top tier would be like 1, right? So would it be a 1?
I mean, depending also on the broker.
Each broker has their different lot size. So like I'm more familiar with FTMO, but on FTMO, right, on a 100K account on US 30, I would use like a 10 lot size. So my first entry would either be a 10 or I would put like a 30.
Okay.
So so when I put a 30, that's my full lot size. If it hits my stop loss, then I'm not too concerned because the next trade, I can make it up. But so there's two ways I take a trade. So I either put a 10, the initial, as an initial position, or I'll put a 30, and then let's say I'm in drawdown and I'm having confidence that this trade is going to go my way. I'll put like a 10 at a lower, at a better price entry, you know. I'm not going to put 30, 30, 30, 30 all the way down. I'm either going to put 30 and then a 10, or I'm going to put a 10 and then a 30 at a better price.
Got it.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Or let's say I'm in positive with the 30 lot size, right?
Yeah.
I'm in positive. I'll stack position. So 30, I'm positive, and then I'll stack another 30 above that.
Okay.
So if I'm in positive, I'll stack higher lot sizes. But if I'm in drawdown, I only stack low lot sizes.
Which makes complete sense. Do you mind going through, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but will you mind going through what your strategy when you are looking to enter and exit a trade and what that looks like?
Yeah, of course. So me personally, I'm really big on Fibonacci and quarter points.
Okay.
So for me to take a trade, I would need 5 to 7 confirmations, and my confirmation includes quarter points more specifically. I mean, quarter points and fibs more specifically, but fibs, like my Fibonacci needs to align perfectly. So with the 5 to 7 confirmations, I'm looking for market structure. I'm looking for trend lines. I don't use indicators. I only have one indicator, which is an EMA. The EMA is just like an extra confirmation. I don't 110% rely on it because indicators, they only tell you what price does after the move happens. So I don't rely on it 100%. But market structure, support and resistance, quarter points, and Fibonacci, like those are like my main key strategy to executing a trade, and also risk management. Okay, I only risk 1% to make 2 to 3%. I don't believe in I just lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Oh, okay. I remember now. If I'm a risk 1%, like I need to make double of what I'm investing, you know?
Yep.
I don't believe in risking 1% and only making 0.5%. Like, no. It's either I'm up 1%, move my stop loss to break even, and see it go to 2%, 3%, however the day may be. Every day is different in the market.
Yeah. So you just take what you can get.
Yes, but every day is also not a trading day. So, so yeah, like if I'm investing 1%, I need to make double my capital, or depending the day of the week too. Like Mondays and Fridays are usually not my favorite days to trade, especially Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and you still trade on Friday, you need to work on psychology.
Take the day off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't believe in trading Friday if you're already having a good week, simply because you could lose it all on Friday, and now you have to wait till like Monday morning to take a trade. Well, I trade New York session, so it'll be morning for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So those are your A+ setups. Like when you have all of those confirmations when they line up, and then you've went over your entries as well. Like if you're in profit and you want to scale in, then you'll add higher lot sizes. But if price reverses or, is in a bit of drawdown, you're still confident in your analysis, so you'll still add, but just a smaller lot.
Exactly.
Okay.
I know that sounded like, to someone who's new to Forex, that would sound like Chinese to them.
Right. Yeah. That's true. But you also have a community that you teach. How did you see yourself teaching and mentoring people when you first got started?
I kind of figured it was going to happen simply because in high school, I would teach calculus.
Okay.
Like I would be like a tutor for students. So, and even in college, like I would teach like my groups, like my group mate, my classmates, or like my friends in general. Sometimes we're like in the same class. We'll teach each other how to like solve a problem. So me being a mentor, it's basically like me teaching math, but in a whole different industry.
Yeah. Well, it's an industry that you have acquired the skill set, and now it's just a matter of teaching what you know and how you operate, and the skill set that you've been able to acquire over the years as well.
Yeah, of course.
Going back a little bit, you said what we were just talking about. If someone was so new to Forex, they would, or trading in general, they'd be like, they're literally speaking Mandarin. Like, I don't understand. For someone that is tuning into this interview and they are interested in learning about trading, maybe this is their first exposure. You had your first exposure. I've had my first exposure. Maybe this is someone's first exposure. What are a few of the steps that you would, or a few pieces of advice that you would give to someone who's wanting to get started with trading?
I definitely recommend getting a one-on-one mentor. Simply because it does speed up the process. Instead of trial and error and losing so much money into the market, you can simply use that money that you could have lost in the market on your own. You could have used that money to get a mentor and just start right. You know, just like any skill set, there's always a coach or mentor guiding you the way. So I used to play soccer, right? If this was like my first day in soccer, obviously I would not know how to kick the ball, what the techniques are, dribbling and all that. There's always a coach to teach you how to play the game. So same thing with Forex. If you want to learn the game, you need to get a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a big proponent of investing in your own education and allowing for someone else's journey to benefit your journey, in the sense of having it really does cut the time. Now, granted, you can't learn and won't learn everything through a one-on-one mentor, because at the end of the day, you have to have your own personal experiences to learn from. But I'm right there with you. To be honest, anytime I want to learn a new skill, have it be playing tennis, have it be learning a new language, or even trading, my mind immediately goes to who can I pay to teach me what they know? Because at the end of the day, not only does it help you, but also in turn, it's the gift of reciprocity. It's helping that other person. I really believe that if you're able to teach something, that's because like you don't know something until you're able to teach it to someone else. So again, I think it's just that sort of energetic exchange that is beneficial to both people.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes to your legacy and training and like the vision that you have for yourself, what are some of those things? What are some things that you are wanting to, I don't want to say acquire, but what's your vision, I guess, to say your long-term vision when it comes to trading?
A long-term vision? Yeah. Well, I do hope to retire from it. My ultimate dream and goal is to like retire on a yacht. That's like what I'm working on right now. Yeah. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, but I will make it happen one day. But with Forex, I just plan on impacting as many people as I can along the way. It is a good feeling to know that someone's learning from you, and in a month, they see progress. So I've had students who've taken 5 to 10 courses. They don't see what I'm seeing. And it's because they're not getting the proper information, or they're just watching random YouTube videos. Like, you don't need to do all that. Chill. Yeah. You just need one good mentor and call it a day, and just follow their trading plan, trading strategy, and go from there. Like with Forex, there's no limit. I know people who make $100 a day, and then I know people who make millions in a week. So it really just depends on what type of lifestyle you want and how far you want to go. So me personally, next year I do plan on, I'm not sure if I should say, but like I do plan on like managing investors' capital and offering big returns for them. Yeah. So amazing. That's my goal for next year. Okay, amazing.
Well, I'm really excited to see what is able to come of that for you. And I mean, at the end of the day, like to your point, it's all about the lifestyle that you want to live, and then continuing to double down on what you already know, and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah,
So,
of course. This is really a journey, you know, like
mhm.
doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Just make sure you like create stories along the way.
Yeah, totally, totally.
And yeah, and just making sure like you have people supporting you. Like, so I'm Latino, right? My family's from Honduras, and I'm first generation too.
Okay.
So I have like a big responsibility of becoming someone in the United States, right? Obviously I was supposed to be an engineer and telling my parents that I don't want to do engineering anymore and I want to do Forex full time. They really looked at me crazy because they see me on my desktop like for hours and they're like, go back to school, finish your degree, get a job. And it's like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be in the rat race with engineering. I wanted something different. And being the first person in my family to actually do trading, that's also new and different for everyone.
Yeah.
They don't understand what these candles means, what lines. They just see a whole different language. Like, this is really like learning a whole new language. So
Do they support you now with your success?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know deep down in their hearts they still want me to go back to college.
You're like, Mom and Dad, it's not happening.
I do plan on going back because I don't like to leave things unfinished.
Okay, so you started, but you never finished.
Yes, exactly. Like with engineering, I only had like 10 classes left.
Okay.
I reached them 4-level courses, and I was like, I need a break from this. I was taking like thermodynamics, mechanics of materials, and hydraulics all at the same time.
Girl, I don't even know what that means, to be honest, but it sounds hard.
Yeah, it was so difficult, and I was like, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I need to take a pause from that and just go back to Forex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately, what the beauty of this industry is that it will always be here, and there will always be an instrument to trade. And even outside of that, I mean, who knows if college will still be here for forever, but
college is going to be here forever. Okay. I don't see no colleges shutting down anytime soon.
Well, then you'll have the time to go back
Exactly.
if that's what your heart desires.
Exactly. I am going to go back, but I'll probably like major something that's more related to Forex, like finance or economics.
Yeah.
When trading, I do heavily focus on technicals, but I also do like the fundamentals aspect of it too. Like when Powell speaks or when Joe Biden speaks or like CPI, PPI, unemployment claims, all those I really find interest in that, but I don't know like the history behind it or like how it could impact the market like tremendously, you know. Just like knowing those like details, I feel like it would make me even more of a better trader.
1000%. I was actually just talking to Josh, and he is one of Top Tier's coaches, and he's all about fundamentals.
Oh yeah.
And we were having a conversation about it, and I was expressing to him how I am reading the news, and this is one piece of the puzzle, and then I'm looking at the chart from a more technical view, and for me, I have not yet been able to marry the two in a sense of like, this is the news and this, I know what it means for what I'm trading in the market.
Yeah.
And he just shared that of course it takes time, but he was like, once you understand the language of the news and you're able to marry that with your technical analysis for whatever you're trading, he was like, you see the market completely differently. Which I think, again, it just makes you more of a lethal trader at the end of the day.
That's my goal also.
Yeah, next
to better my fundamentals.
Yeah. Okay, well, Sarah, this has been such a great conversation, and I really appreciate you for coming in and stopping by and sharing a piece of your story. I mean, at the end of the day, what these interviews are meant for is for successful traders to come in, share pieces of their story, for other people to see you, because at the end of the day, someone can look at you and say, she looks like me, or a piece of her story really resonates with me, and if she can do it, why can't I? or they're wanting to potentially drop out of school, although we're not condoning to drop out of college.
Don't drop out of school unless you're 110% dedicated to Forex. Because that was the thing, like when I dropped out of college, I wasn't going to half-ass Forex. I was going to be 100% dedicated and committed to this journey. I wasn't going to, like I said, half-ass. I don't know.
Exactly. No, well, yeah, you have to be certain.
Yes.
You have to be
know that's what
2 feet in, not 1 foot out, 1 foot in, to fully immerse yourself and to dedicate yourself to not only learning the skill set, but developing the character traits that is required to be a successful trader.
For sure, you gotta build your you gotta train your psychology to know that you want this, and how bad you want it, and how bad you want it determines of how much time you put into it. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, and it's so much to that. But but you're so right. Okay, well, I appreciate you for coming in, and if you found value from this conversation with Sara, please let us know in the comments below. We love to go through them and see what you're saying, some value that you've extracted from this conversation that you can apply to your journey as well. And Sara, where can people find you online?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Sara J Miranda, so it's 2 A's.
Okay, great. Sounds great. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Top Tier Trader interview. Sara, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Of course.